Good evening. This is a regular meeting of the Ferndale Schools Board of Education held on March 16th, 2026. Our meeting is being video recorded and will be posted on the Ferndale Schools YouTube channel. All meetings in the Ferndale Schools are held in public in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Printed documents discussed in tonight's meeting are available to the public upon request, with the exception of any information protected by student or employee privacy rights. Board meeting information is posted on our website at www.ferndaleschools.org. If you do not have internet access and need information, please contact the board offices at 248-586-8652 by Thursday of the week prior to the meeting, and district staff will do their best to work with you. Okay, Ms. Shepherd, could we do roll call?
Pomeroy.
Here.
Dookie.
Here.
Hart.
Here.
Kaiser.
Here.
Newman. Here. Turner.
Here.
President Delaware.
Here.
Thank you.
Item 1.2, approval of the agenda. Let's take a look at the agenda. Does anyone have any comments, edits, suggestions? All right, seeing none, agenda is approved. Item 2, superintendent's update. Ms. Hibbler.
Good evening. So this evening, I am very happy to celebrate, although they are not here to receive this recognition. We do have our recording, and they will be with us at our next meeting. But as you all know, thank you to the Board of Education for the approval of expanding our athletic programming, which last year included girls wrestling. And I'm very happy to share, if you haven't heard already, that we have, in our first year of ever having girls wrestling, we have not one but two all-state young ladies that were awarded a couple weekends ago. We have Nair Rhines, who was third in the state, and Lainey Shea, who was seventh in the state. We are just so extremely proud of this historic moment. And we also want to give special recognition to coaches, Coach Quinn Boyce, as well as Coach Danny Collins, for their leadership and their time. But we just cannot sing their praises enough. We are so excited and proud of our Eagles and their shine at the All-State Wrestling Meet. So again, congratulations to Nair as well as Lainey, and we're so very proud of it.
Awesome. Can't wait to see them next month.
Yes.
Item 3, presentation of buildings, triennial update.
Good evening again. Just as a reminder to the board and to the community, we have our principals that will be coming to share progress towards our dynamic plan goals. This is the second triennial update. So what you will hear this evening is from Ferndale Lower as well as Ferndale Upper Elementaries and their progress since the fall. So we will start with Principal Keefe with Ferndale Lower.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just left a rockin' reading night with lots and lots of families. So but glad to be here with you. So here we are. That's our crew. Okay. Reach, and I have pictures at the end for all of those for us to see. So, but we'll go over the REACH for lower. First one are relevant and responsive staff development. So we're using the measure of success as when the staff report after PD as an 85%. So the fall we had 84. Now we have 84.4. So progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So training that we've had since the fall, Essential 2, which is read aloud, AI with Kelsey. We had math observation and lab development, data digs, curriculum vertical alignment, listening circles about connection and culture. We've had some fish tanks, some science, some UDL, and more. That's some PD that we've done since then. So, and then just recently, I met with the paras because I believe, and my reflection question at the end, I believe that we sometimes miss groups when we do a broad PD. We want to make sure that everyone is getting what they need. So I had a meeting with the paras a few weeks ago and said, what is it that you need to be better at your job? And one thing that they mentioned was American Sign Language. They don't need to learn it all, right? But there are certain signs that, especially our students that are limited language, that, more bathroom, I want, I need. So they would like to learn some of those signs, especially some students come to us with some sign language, but if we don't know it, we can't support them. So I'm proud to say that there's a group in Oak Park that is going to support us with that. And so that training will start either the end of this month or April, and we'll do some of that with the paras and then see if teachers want to jump on board with that as well. And then last week, we also threw a parent group that met with me about lunch. They were very interested in having the lunch monitors CPR trained. So we had our lunch monitors trained last week as well, and we could do 10. So then a couple more teachers were trained, which is great. So I thought that was a great idea that came from the parents. So we had that. And then on the horizon, we have some peers, some colleagues that are going to be doing some training with behavior support, some tech conversations, some belonging to increase our capacity with that. But as I was doing this, my reflection question was, how do we plan and prepare PD for all of our stakeholders at our school? So the teachers, the essential teachers, the paras, the special education department, how is it relevant and actionable for everyone? So I know that the district is putting together a PD team to talk about and to make our plans. So I want to be part of that team so that I think that reflection question, that voice can be heard, because I know sometimes the gym teacher is sitting there and it's like, oh, how do I support you, with this PD? So I'm just making sure that everyone is included in that, and that we're lifting everyone up at our school with PD to make it relevant and responsive for everyone. Engaged and empowered students. So this information, the measure of success, comes from the survey. So lower does the survey only fall and spring. So in the fall that I shared with you, 93% of our students reported that they belong at our school through the survey. We didn't administer it in the mid-year, but we continue to work videos that I do daily as reminders, solid SEL curriculum for Tier 1, common language and structures through conscious discipline, SOAR, show respect, owner behavior, act in excellence, ready to learn, making sure that adults are present, problem solving, voice and choice, caring, champions for students, all of those things that we're doing. A lot of attendance monitoring, more so than we've done in the past, to make sure that we're reaching out. They know we want them at school and they are coming to school. So, so that picture up in the corner, just to tell you that was just cups that they were playing with inside recess. They do hearts all the time, and I love that. I think that that's really important. So I wanted to put that picture in, and then some first grade students gave me some quotes today. Like my school family, because there's so many kind people. They're kind and nice. They share, they are kind. Hopefully you're seeing that theme coming through. We're kind, respectful, funny, and kind. People make me feel happy. So that's just a random first graders that I asked them about our school and how they feel about our school. So, so that's us today. Align instructional vision. So annually increase the percentage of students exceeding 1 year of growth on iReady. So spring is up there, and then we have the data from winter, and this is the median percentage of progress towards typical growth. So we'll get that year's progress at the end of the year to do spring to spring. But this is where we're at right now for the median percentage for that typical growth. So 44% for kindergarten math, 79% for first grade math, 53% for second grade math, and then 77% for second grade reading. Our kindergarten and first grade students do not take the iReady for reading. They have a cadence, and that data is very powerful. And I think you're sharing some of that, right? Yours. So. Update from fall, continue with solid tier 1 instruction with our English language arts, support students that are not there yet with our student success team, intervention small group. We have a new intervention program that just started the past couple weeks. There was a lot of training to it, 95 RAP, and that came through a grant. So we have 5 people, trained in our building doing small groups, 95 RAP. So it's a little bit different. Learning more about math with iReady data digs and information, individual student pathways, which is really great and big this year. Learning labs in math with Oakland schools, and getting into each other's classrooms for those observations, those conversations, and that vertical alignment at PLC. That was a really powerful time when paras, all stakeholders, everyone, teachers across the grade levels, all got together and had conversations about math curriculum, and that was really good. And we have 2 teachers right now, part of a research study for a new math curriculum, helping them design it, the kind of like the pre stage. And K-5 begins to create a committee for a new math curriculum for that they'll start next year, and then I think it's the year after that it begins. So aligning that instructional vision. Cultivating collective pride, so increase participation of underrepresented families by 20%. Current status in the spring was 278 parents participated in the survey and 35 this time in winter. So we've got some work to do. I think it had to do with the timing that we did the survey in the spring. It was at the concerts. I saw families. I was getting out there. Winter, I didn't see them all the time, and I don't know if they read my newsletter. So we're going to work on that. So that's a grow for us, right? So dive in, talk about how we can increase that sample size for May. So as a whole, we continue to work on family outreach and support. Some of the points of pride since November to cultivate this pride is attendance outreach, as I mentioned, working with our CIS support coordinator and family liaison, weekly newsletter linking our families to our school. We got a grant for a little library, so maybe more families are coming on to get those free books. Family projects from classrooms, class photos that are shared on Seesaw. I know that families really like that, to see what's happening day to day in the classroom. I think that's important. Family events, skate night, bike giveaway. I just feel like all of our events are getting bigger and bigger, which is amazing. For the first time in, I think maybe ever, we had a Black History Night called Music in the Key of Soul, and it was a blast. People had a lot of fun. There was dancing, there was food, there was learning stations. There was a lot of families. It was really great. And our annual Peace Walk. So just trying to have activities for all of our families. We also have a lot of community members coming in for mystery reading. Invite all of you if you want to come in and read. That'd be amazing. And then at our fall conferences, we had 94% of families attend. And then I have some more pictures at the end. Harnessing data to drive improvement. Again, kind of missed the mark here. I mean, the measure of success is still a ways away to redesign it and implement it, but 20% of our staff completed it after provided a little bit of time. But Ms. Jeffrey told me that maybe I didn't scroll all the way down on it. So it's got to be more than that. So I will go back to that. So it's a low sample size but the open-ended answers need to be reviewed for those glows and those grows. And we'll look through that with leadership and dive into that. So just to make sure that we're continuing growing all the time. So. And then just some fun pictures. So I'll start at the top and go around. Our imaginary trip to Australia, drumming from music, Black History Night. We have our STEAM lab. I'm really proud to say that for Black History Month, we had a STEAM lab, a uniquely designed STEAM lab every week that parents could, or that teachers could sign up for, and we've broadened that into reading month. So now this month we have a book every week in our STEAM lab with an activity for it. So we've increased that because it was just so powerful. Peace walk, skate night, that we had Motown singers come in, and they were, I think the whole second grade class was doing the train. It was just amazing. It was great. And then in the bottom left is our holiday sing-along that the music teachers do in December with our kids. So lots of community. And then one more. So the top one is Aaron Moore. He came for Reading Month and read. He did a STEAM video for aerospace, and the kids built some planes, and he did a video for us. So then he came back, and so we actually hit Black History, STEAM, March reading, and career readiness with his visits. So, and he said he is coming back. He loves our school. So I said, you are welcome anytime. And he has a drone, so he's going to teach us about that, and it's really cool. Bike giveaway. Reading month kickoff was March 1st or 2nd, I think, and it's Olympic theme. We are gold medal readers. We all had flags of the countries, and we passed the torch, so that's what that picture is. The one on the top right, groups of kindergarten classes got together and made about 125 bags for the homeless, and they brought in all the supplies. Families helped. They packaged them all and they delivered them, and some really nice packages that they did. This is the second year doing that project. Bottom right, new trays. If you haven't seen those yet, they're amazing. It's working out great. We figured out the system. The kids know how to dump the food off. They have to kind of bang it a little bit to get some of it off, but and then parents have been coming in to help us rinse them off, and it's just it's great. So you're up next with the trays, I hope. And then Ms. Hibbler, of course, came in for Black History Month and read to all of our grade levels. Right above that reach is a math lab with Oakland Schools and a literacy lab with Oakland Schools and K-5, which was great. And then another picture from STEAM lab that was actually last week's project. So. Lower. Thank
Questions
you.
for Ms. Keefe? Thank you, Ms. Keefe.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I'm not going to change it. So, first, question for administration. So, on slide 5, and I think this is for us, but also for the public, with our online instructional vision, I think this is one of the benchmarks that we're changing. But is the intent for an increase by 15% to be, so if it's 10% now, right, are we getting to 25% or 11%?
That's our problem with the metric. I mean, all of that, what you're saying, because I read it as increase the amount of students that are reaching their stretch goals every year, right? But after a while, you'll only have so many students that they'll reach them faster. So the goal itself doesn't work, right, Katie? Am I saying that right? We've had some really debate.
First is that, so like if you look at Diana's winter data here, those should be all, so nationally the expectation would be at 50% right now, right? That the median is 50% because we were halfway through the school year. You can see second grade is already 77% towards 1 year of progress. So possibly, they'll be at 125,
Yeah.
right? And they will have far exceeded the 59% that they got at the end of last year in terms of meeting.
Mhm.
So technically, you could exceed by 15% for quite a while because you could go to 200%,
Yeah.
Right.
but not if you're at. The more and more students you have at grade level at the beginning, the much more difficult it is to keep meeting those goals because you're going to max out. Like you'll see a lot of our fifth graders who may start at a sixth grade level, they're not getting sixth, seventh
Right.
grade content, so they're going to max
Yeah.
out on themselves. The second issue is stretch growth versus this goal is exceeding a year of growth. So that's like 101% for a child would mean that they've gone over the year of growth. Stretch growth is a little bit tougher, and only 30% nationally tend to meet stretch growth. So if we get above the 30% growth, we're outperforming national norms. But how do you assess that year after year after year? Last year, I think we were at 28%. Like at Fuel, we're really close to the national expectation. But how do you get that to 50? It's nationally unlikely that you get to that.
So I,
The measure is,
yeah, it's wonky. And
but you can see second grade far outperform.
So ideally, we would want, thank you, Katie. So ideally, we would want them to be, we would prefer personalized, which would be technically their stretch goals. But like Katie said, like how would we norm that in a way that we can monitor for an entire grade level or entire district? Since it's so, everyone's stretch goal will be very, very different. And I believe that's why we landed on it written in this way, because you can measure this. You can measure it over time, but it's just not, we don't believe it's measuring what we want to be measured.
And Ms. Jeffrey, I think you answered the second, but the target for the median percentage is 15%. Got it. So
At this time,
at this
yeah.
time,
At this
so
time.
26. Okay. All right. So you don't have to answer anything. So thank you, Ms. Keefe.
Thanks, Ms. Keith.
All right. Next up, we have Ms. Jeffrey with number.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
to see everybody. I don't have paper notes.
If you go back into meeting. If you go to meeting, go to that, meeting minutes, and then just go to this meeting. Yep, and then go to view meeting. Oops, I'm sorry. Go back. I'm sorry. That was, I'm so sorry. If you go to start meeting. Just go back. No, just go back. Yeah,
That'll
leave.
do that.
Yep. And then go back to, yep, meeting. Join meeting. No, join meeting at the top. The top. Yep.
You meeting
View meeting
details.
details, join meeting. Right there. And then go down to the agenda. Yep. And then click on that. There it is, and then go to link to
Okay.
slides. Yep.
Is that up?
Yes. Confirm. There we go. We got there.
Outdoors.
Sorry, good.
So this is our triennial update after our winter assessments and winter surveys for Ferndale Upper. And like Mrs. Keefe, we'll be presenting on all 5 of the strategic pillars. Okay, so relevant and responsive staff development. To date, we are at 84% in the fall. We're now at 85.3. That reporting that staff is relevant and actionable. These are, as Mrs. Keefe said, both support staff and FEA staff participate in the surveys. We continue to have a robust professional development plan. The last 3 months specifically since our last update, we have focused on really highlighting powerful teaching practices in the classroom. So peer classroom observation, specifically, we are, if you noted from our fall data and longitudinal data, we are really focusing on math instruction, math look-fors, going in, like for example, I have 2 teachers in the first 2 years. They're going in with seasoned teachers to watch veteran teachers teach math, and then having those opportunities to examine practice, ask questions of our teachers that are highly effective in math instruction. And we've done a lot of work on building thinking classrooms. So this started organically this summer with a small group of teachers, 7 teachers that wanted to read through the book, or at least a portion of the book, and then they kind of dove right in just experimenting. They then brought their colleagues in to watch the building classrooms. You've probably seen at the high school and secondary level. It's the vertical whiteboards where students are really thinking and talking through math together. And now it's pretty much throughout the entire building. They do observations of each other, and then Miss Harris and Miss Prince are both our math lead teachers working with Oakland schools. So they are also leading their teams in action research around the use of the vertical whiteboards and students. So we're seeing a lot more student discourse about math, comfortable student discourse about math, because the teachers are teaching each other what they're doing and what's working in the classroom. So very powerful. So distributed leadership model has basically been the focus of the last 3 months of PD. Another example of this is last week. We have some time where we do flex PLs, where we ask for teachers to volunteer, or I've seen something in the classroom and okay, I want this shared out more. And teachers get to do a choose your own adventure for the second half of a staff meeting. So Amy Pomeroy, our Montessori teacher, Mason Fenig, a 4th grade teacher, and Roberta Lusk, our 5th grade ILT, all led flex PDs in breakout rooms. Ms. Pomeroy taught about supporting students with ADHD, which actually came up in our Soup with the Soup as how are we looking at all different types of neurodivergence. So she led a great one. We're going to ask her to repeat. Mr. Fenig was using Nearpod as a UDL and engagement strategy. And then Mrs. Lusk, who I believe is the longest tenured teacher in the district, it led Flex PDs. Hers was about tips and tricks from a veteran teacher. So that when we encourage our teachers with 5 years or fewer years of experience to come and talk about classrooms culture, morning meeting, engagement strategies for content. And then last at the DPPD day in February, when we had the full day, we actually led a really powerful technology and education think through, using actually the slides from the parents that presented back in November with some of their concerns and public comment, using some articles that group and Kelsey Perkins has helped to support us in, and really doing some think throughs about technology and education. How do we have more intentional use? What does it look like here? What are some school improvement initiatives for better supporting that in our schools? And then data digs. We're big on the data digs. So, under E, engaged and empowered students, annual increase the percentage of students report they have an adult with their school. So in the winter, in the top 3 categories of the Panorama survey, we had 94% report they have an adult in their school they can go to for support or guidance, which is the whole focus of our school. So it's great to see. Additional highlights, so we were above national average in Panorama. It is a nationally normed survey. It's long. Kids struggle a little bit, so we put some things into place to make them be more incentivized to really take it seriously and slow down. We scored above national average in all categories on both the school climate student survey and the SEL student survey. So that's their individual SEL, which is excellent. I think this is the first year since we've been doing Panorama that we've scored in that green in all of the areas. These are also indicative, I think, of our focus on student school culture. We have our one-word focus, like I invite you to please come walk our halls. You can see that messaging. Our Black History Month doors are up right now. Those are all student-driven projects led by our student council. Our passion projects have been wildly successful. Student culture initiative they were done to increase half-day attendance, but they have ended up really bringing our school together because they're mixed third, fourth, and fifth graders all together, and the teachers are sharing their passions and interests with the kids. Our support staff has a weekly huddle on Friday to talk about behavior, concerns, how to best support students that maybe are falling under that 94%. We have our reading month celebrations, our all school morning meetings. We're in a big contest right now for reading month, so I've got a picture of that. Those are our banana trees. We're reading the One and Only Ivan. As a school, this is our second year of a one book, one community. We did The Wild Robot last year. We got every student a book. We got that finally today. Amazon came through with the last ones, but so on each of those trees there are bananas for every 20 minutes. Every student read, and you can see the wall right now. We still have 2 weeks left. So again, those are culture initiatives to get students interested and engaged in school. And then we also, as always, our K-5 incredible SEL focus on individual needs. The teachers have the efficacy to take the SEL curriculum, and if their students specifically need work on compassion, we use Panorama. There's activities they can go in, and they're going to say, oh, Katie, I'm not going to do that. My class really needs this right now, and it's still under the guise of that curriculum. Also under this annually increase the percentage of students report they feel like they belong. 81% of our students report they feel like they belong at school as of winter, which is also really high. Our winter, so one of the things we did in our data dig is to look at any students in those 2 strategic plan, dynamic plan questions who did not score, who scored in the red. So they were at not at all or only a little. And so who are those children? Then we individually talked about them in our check-ins with me, and then what we're doing to support them. One of the things we found that while the percentage of students in that red was small, we were able to identify that the majority of them were students new to the school this year. So that's when you're joining, a new elementary school in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, and many of the ones that actually started after the start of the school year. So that gave us some really good data for our mental health specialist, Ms. Janelle, Mr. Holly, our elementary liaison who works specifically with our boys, our black males. And how do we now work with school improvement team to have stronger initiatives around students who come in mid-year? Because that's a significant portion of who was not yet feeling that they totally belong. Okay, aligned instructional vision. So this one is tough because we don't take MSTEP, for another 3 weeks. So these were, we talked about both the state proficiencies, and we can see in ELA we're pretty aligned to the state proficiency of our black students, but that we needed to be higher. So our data digs for Acadians included analysis of race and ethnicity. So we're not just looking at the data, we're like sorting them by race and ethnicity and gender as well. Who's progressing, who is not. In 5th grade, we actually saw that the movement of placement, and this one was on iReady specifically, was actually the smallest. So 42% of white students moved placement, 41% of black students moved placement. So that was nice to see. 5th grade, we actually tend to have our biggest gaps. We still have that in terms of proficiency, but this was nice to see that in terms of growth, that there was alignment there. So looking at 5th grade and what are they doing to support that. And then, I tried to give you guys a little bit of data based on iReady. We've only been using it for 2 years. It gives you like potential projections of student proficiency. So if those were accurate, I can't say that with any, I can't say that it's going to work, but we would see a small increase if they met typical growth, and a big increase from last year if we met stretch growth, which we talked about. Okay, and then math, again, same explanation. Here, different than the other one. In 3rd grade, we actually saw the smallest decrease in the gap, and that was in terms of proficiency, with about an 8% gap. This board went out, so I can't see it anymore. Yeah, 8% versus 17% in. Oh no.
Sorry, just
Okay. Phew. Okay. And then we would actually see a bigger increase in math if the iReady projections are accurate. Again, it's difficult because when you look at MSTEP scores, Mr. Mays and I talk about this a lot. When you look at M-STEP scores, students have to be with you 2 count periods, so fall and spring, in order to be in your percentage, right? And some of those students maybe join us in October. We have about 5 months of instruction with them. So as a school, like we've had a lot of move-ins this year, as you saw in the previous panorama data. So it really is looking at like how do we I think school improvement work over the summer, like how do we really dig down into who's growing, how long have they been with us in the district. What we see in math is that it doesn't really matter, the percentages are too low. And so that's why we're really focusing on those PL initiatives around that. Another A, okay. And then this is that same I Ready. So our current status for winter, you can see that in reading, we exceeded all the 50% mark. In math, we were a bit lower. And even this seems a little off because I think our reading overall percentage was actually 73% for the building. Math was 43%. So again, you see that gap between our ELA proficiency and growth in our math. We did see our reading growth was outpacing national norms. I'll show you something at the end. It was a celebration. Specifically, 3rd and 4th graders are outpacing national growth in every category. Math growth on Ready was just below the 50%. But students, this is where I actually saw a celebration. We looked at the students who are 2 and 3 grade below grade level in the fall. So those who were 2 or 3 more when they started with us in, September when we took this, they actually improved over expected growth, which was nice to see. So we were trying to move the math data. Actually looks like more students are moving out of a placement level up, which is what you have to do. That's what stretch growth is designed to do. All right, cultivating collective pride. So Panorama was really weird for me today. I actually couldn't dig down into the whole weekend. I actually did have 14 more responses than last spring. I only had 10. So we had 24, but unfortunately there was no breakdown of ethnicity or representation. So I could not see that. I'm not sure why, because we could see it last winter. So we continue to work on our family outreach, though. Points of Pride were our outdoor education camp program, and really how hard we work to get as many parent volunteers involved, but as many kids to camp as possible. Our attendance outreach with CIS with Miss P, our K-5 literacy night, and indie book fair, parent-led programs. We had a mini musical after-school program led by a parent. So really opening our doors more to our parent volunteers. I know PTA is working on grade level specific outreach now as well to get more family connectedness to the school, particularly around our academics. We have great skate night attendance. We do have great parent-teacher conference attendance, but some of our other events are not as well attended. And so really focusing how do we get more when we have these academic events. And then we also have community programming. We've had a really great relationship with Friends of Royal Oak Township for several years. Bridget Hall and Charles Jackson. I'm providing a 3rd grade nutrition program every year. And then also Renewed Junior through our Southeast Oakland Coalition. And I will say, I don't know that I put this on here, but we were above in the 24 responses, which is about 5%. Supposedly, if you can get over 10% on a parent survey, you're like outpacing national norms for family surveys. So we're at 5% right now, but we were above national averages in all 4 categories for those 24 families. Right. And then our staff climate and engagement surveys. So we, as Ms. Keefe said, we didn't really realize when we first looked at it, it says staff. And then if you scroll down, you see teachers. So you should have about 20 support staff and paras. And then you have your teaching staff, about 20 to 25 for each of us. So we did have, I think I had over 45 respondents. So this is pretty close to 80, 90% of staff. So we're above national percentiles again, 80th to 99th percentile in every category on the staff and teacher surveys, which goes back to that relevant and actionable PD at the beginning, with best strengths being school leadership, school climate, and staff leadership relationships. I think this is because of a cohesive approach to staff culture, giving them more ownership of PD and leading each other. monthly staff check-ins and data conversations. So I do those October through May. So that's an accountability measure, but it's also a connection opportunity every time with staff. And then we have a really robust sunshine committee. So we have culture activities, underground staff spirit week, crocks of love throughout the winter, birthday celebrations, things like that. So I think that helps to cohesively make our schools the place that teachers want to work. So we have
Crocks
great
of love.
retention rate as well.
Crock pot, right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
all
Oh,
sign
making
up
sure. I
for
just
crocks
cleared
of love. Those are crock pot dishes that staff sign up for. And you can't eat if you don't provide one. So. All right, and then the last page. So these are just some final celebration. I'll just look the pictures really quick, but you can see our Black History Month door celebrations. There's one of those. Down at the bottom is the new science that Mrs. Keefe mentioned. These are really in depth. We're only expected to get through a couple units this year because it's the pilot year, but beginning year of the science. These are really hands-on, engaging science activities. Reminds me of the 80s in Ferndale Public School. Earthworms in this very building, right, Miss Dookie? I recall. And then we've got Morning Circle. This was a 4th grade classroom. I got to see Morning Circle, just that SEL and that connection. And then the 2 data points I just wanted to point out, I threw a lot at you, but I think these visuals are better. The one on the right is like, this is the 4 quadrants we want to be in. Those dots represent different grade levels. You can see for reading, it looks different in math, although it looks better than last year's math still. We are moving towards the top right quadrant, which is high performance, high growth. That's where we want all our grade levels to be. That's how we close gaps. And then on the left, this came from our iReady consultant that works with us. So you can see, and I want to note that 5th grade, you can see is the only grade that is currently below national domain performance in the winter. I want to also note that they were kindergarteners in 2021. This is also the point you can see where we got letters training for the statewide letters training. The majority of lower teachers are trained. Most of my 3rd grade team are trained. We got a literacy coach. We really changed instructional practice, and now you can see the difference. So 4th grade is the middle column. They outscored national expectations in every area, but I think phonics doesn't count in 4th grade, so that it has a percentage, but it doesn't have a national norm. So the dark blue is above 5% more above, and then the light blue is 0 to 5. And then in 3rd grade, again, every single category outscoring. So that is a testament to the work of the K-5 programming and to intentional changes that lead to data changes. Please.
Jeffrey, any questions?
I've got one question. The technology and education think through PD that you said was like in response to the parents' concerns about tech time. Was it communicated to families that you all did that work?
I worked with I told the work group about it. So there is a small group of parents that are working with the TNL department and with Kelsey Perkins. But I want to say the board made, it's been brought up for a couple of years. The board presentations, I just used their stuff as one of the 5. So they were like jigsawed with 5 different, like tech article here, tech and ed, big tech and ed, parent commentary. So there was like 5 different pieces, and then they jigsawed and the teachers walked around and learned about the different things because we don't have time to read all of them. So it really was a response, though, more so the board was like the board presentation was an element of it. But the district last year put out tech guidelines for K-5 education, right? And at the upper, it's 45 minutes or less a day. Some of that is our IXL pathways, right? So you have there's non-negotiables. We're going to have to go over that sometimes, especially at our level when we're also composing now. But it was really a response to in January, I had asked them, so November, really the board presentation and what this work group has been making me think about, Ms. Keefe. And then in January, I gave them a challenge to track all of the tech you're using for a week. And then they had to bring that to our check-in and we had to talk about it. And they're like, oh, I'm I'm pretty intentional, or oh wait, maybe I didn't need to use it. So it was a good thing. And then the February, the learning, I think, reinforced their, what they saw when they were tracking their own, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. Thank you.
And then I shared those with Miss Keefe. And so those are, and she has actually, Peter Siglaric is a teacher, I think, who's really strong in this area. So he's going to be leading some things. So it's really about, much like back to the literacy conversation, you can change practice when you inform and provide research and you learn differently. Because in COVID, we really were like technology shoved down, right? Like we had to do it. We didn't have a lot of other options. So how do you wean everybody back to best practices while still leveraging technology? Because we know it is our students, we have to prepare them that this is part of all of their jobs too. So it's that careful balance.
Thank you.
No, it's fantastic. Both, seeing the numbers, also just to applaud both of you. And these presentations are so much better than they were last year. Just having the data and having them all be the same is much easier to follow and dig into. So.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 4, public comments. Anyone here for public comments? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Item 5, consent agenda. We have 4 items on the consent agenda tonight. Item 1, request to approve minutes of a special meeting. Committee of the Whole, Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Item 2, request to approve minutes of the regular meeting, Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Item 3, request to approve new hires, retirements, and resignations. Item 4, request to approve bills and accounts, February. Before we do discussion, we get a motion to approve the consent agenda. Heard it by Jessica. Get a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Jackie. Shepard, can we get roll call?
Ryan.
Yes.
Dookie.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
President De La Barre.
Yes. We're on topic 6, action items. Item 6.1, request to approve the contract addendum recommendation for Plant Moran Real Point PMR 2020 and 25-25 bond program. Deputy Superintendent Wright.
Good evening, board. Tonight, the school district seeks approval from the board to amend the contract between Ferndale Public Schools and Plant Moran Real Point for owners' representation services under the 2025 bond program to include Series 3 of the 2020 bond program. The amount of this partnership is 1% of the 2020 Series 3 and 2025 bond program. Which equates to a value overall. The current value of the contract is $114.8 million. 1% of that, we're looking to add $300,000 to the existing contract based on $30 million projected for Series 3 dollars of the 2020 bond.
Any questions?
I just wanted to include the other numbers if you don't
Sure,
mind.
go for it.
Okay. Previously, the board authorized $1,148,000. Proposed contract increases of $300,000 that I mentioned previously, bringing the total amended contract value to $1,448,000. $1,448,000.
That's all I can get there.
I'm so often.
Does anybody have any questions? Please entertain a motion to approve the contract addendum recommended for Plant Moran Real Point. Second. Moved by Trustee Nuki, seconded by Trustee Crumrine. Any discussion? All right, Ms. Shepherd, roll call.
Dookie.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
President De La Barre.
Yes. Okay, item 6.2, request to approve the integrated design systems contract renewal recommendation.
So this item pertains to Integrated Designs Solutions, which is currently the district's technology provider and designer for the bond program under the 2020 bond. We're hoping to include such services under the 2025 bond program. We'd like to continue working with this vendor. The contract amount is not to exceed $698,015, representing 6,109 hours of services that would be lent towards the 2025 bond technology series design work. So this firm has helped us with our current work that's in play right now with the technology that will be infused in the auditorium redesign, as well as in the new dressing rooms and scene shop. And then under this new proposal, they will help with using technology in the classrooms that will be redesigned under the 2025 bond program.
Thank you, Deputy Superintendent. Any questions? No questions. Entertain a motion to approve the Integrated Design Systems contract renewal recommendation. Moved by Trustee Hart, moved by Trustee Kaiser, seconded by Trustee Hart. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Hart.
Yes.
Kaiser. Newman.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Crumrine.
Yes.
Stuckey.
Yes.
President De La Vera.
Yes. All right, item 6.3, request to approve Ferndale Middle School Project Lead the Way Gateway Building for the Future. Mr. Mays will be leading this one.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Y'all tonight. So as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, here asking you to consider approving another project lead the way class for Ferndale Middle School. This one's focused on skilled trades. Ms. Hart, I believe I've made your corrections, corrected the link, and included a reference to Ferndale Middle School for the course.
Any questions for Mr. Mays? Entertain a motion to approve the Ferndale Middle School Project Lead the Way Gateway Building for the Future.
I'll move.
By Vice President Turner, seconded by Trustee Newman. Any discussion? I'm really excited for this. As a parent, I've loved the one class that my daughter has with Project Lead the Way. So
Great.
It's been, getting her thinking a little differently and bringing different disciplines to this. To be really, really interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, we're excited for it. Thank you.
Ms. Shepherd, roll call.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Crumrine.
Yes.
Stuckey. Yes. Hart.
Yes.
President
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mays.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Final action item 6.1, request to approve the Thurn policy updates March 2026. Mr. Shelton.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Pleased to present a few policies from Troon that are recommended to keep our board policies current. Really three broad categories. There's one policy here for Title IX sexual harassment that provides an updated definition of the term sexual assault. We also have updated forms and checklists for Michigan Earned Sick Time Act, as well as instructional materials and opportunities for parents to opt out of certain, if they object to instructional materials. These have been shared with the leadership team. Principals have seen this, and pleased to present these to you for consideration this evening.
So, thank you, Ms. Shelton. Any questions? All right, seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve the Thurn policy updates March 2026?
I'll move.
Second. Moved by Vice President Turner, seconded by Trustee Crumrine. Any discussion? Shepherd, roll call.
Newman.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Crumrine.
Yes.
Stuckey.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Kaiser. Yes. President De La Vera.
Yes. Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Item 7, board updates. Anyone from the board have anything they would like to update us and the public on? I will just note Wednesday night at University High School, we celebrate Black Excellence from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And closing weekend of Wizard of Oz this weekend. So definitely, people have been saying very, very good things about the show. So if you can get a chance, please attend. Okay, item 8, informational items. 8.1, budget to actual.
This is the budget to actual for February 2026. And not too much to report. Everything's going on normal. The revenue, the federal revenue, we still haven't received all of the revenue yet. They're a little late on that one. And the instructional, we're spending a little more. We put some grants, some software in that function. And for transportation, we still haven't received the buses. It's supposed to be in spring. Any questions?
Thank you. All right, item 9, consideration of any pool consent agenda items. We do not have any. So item 10, the next committee of the whole meeting will be Monday, April 6, 2026 at 6 p.m. I'll be coming fresh off spring break. I'm sure everyone will be fired up Monday night. Get right back at it. Item 11, the next regular board meeting will be Monday, April 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. And now I would like to do our Eagle points of pride and comments. Who would like to go first? Oh, Jackie. Trustee Hart.
Meet with the lower elementary students on Friday. It's been a while since I've been with the littles, and it was just nice to be in the room with all of that energy and hearing their honest and just, truthful feedback and candor, and just knowing that, the decisions that we make at the table here and the outcome of what we see when we meet with the little ones really reinforces why, at least for me, I made the decision to be a board member. So it was nice to hear directly from the students at the meeting.
Yes, Trustee Cromer.
For me, it was soup with the soup. Everything about it, the way it was run, food, people. I mean, just everything, And I made sure that the people knew at the township that the next one's on the 8th. And I gotta say too, and I shouldn't be cheating with too, but every time I look at our website, ferndale.org, it looks better and better. So I don't know what. It's more. Everything's there.
Yeah.
Everything, the news, the things that you would want, the things that I bring up at the township, all are there. It's just, every time I look at it, it looks better. Kind of cheated with two, sorry.
I'll go next. I want to say how refreshing it is with our first strategic pillar, relevant responsive staff development. It's so refreshing to see our leaders incorporating PD that is so responsive to what staff are asking for, and all staff, right? It's such an important point that staff don't often get a chance to come together, or they don't all, paraprofessionals especially, don't always, I hear it across all of Wayne County, right? We're not getting the training that we need. And so I just love how intentional our leaders are being about giving staff the training they're asking for. And it's also responsive to parents, which is almost unheard of. And so I just really appreciate that we're living into this pillar of being responsive to our staff and our families as well.
I'll go. So, as we all know, mine's more of a comment than a point of pride, but March is Reading Month, which is very special to me because I make sure that I read every year to the children. But kind of a comment out to our full community, just a reminder that reading is very important for our children. And if you have the time, to make sure that you are reading with your littles when they are outside of school as well, not just during March, but all year long. It really goes a long way. And especially from our meet and need, I heard about how many of our children do not like reading. So just want to call out the importance of reading during reading month.
To be fair, they also wanted to bring Nintendo Switches to school,
Yeah.
so like it was a pretty free form. They're allowing a lot of conversation. So.
I'll go. I've been so part of the journey of my neighborhood, spelling bee champions. So we have such a breadth and depth of amazing athleticism, in educational achievement, and I'm so proud of all of our students. It was pretty cool that
Yes.
we almost won.
So I'm gonna do this because I always do this at break. When breaks are coming up, we got one more week. It's also spring, so to the staff and to the administration, just hold tight. Only like 7, 8 more days before you get a break. And to the kids, you got 8 days. Like hold tight. And when that break comes, I hope everyone takes a break. For real.
Deputy Superintendent Wright.
Yes, so I have to go back to February, and I don't think I shared this before. One of the classrooms at FECC, while I was there, said you must come in and hear the students. You must, and I did. And I was really surprised, and so there was a call and answer to the students. They were shown a picture, and they were asked, "Who is this?" They knew Maya Angelou, they knew they went Langston Hughes, they knew Baldwin. I couldn't believe it. And then they said something like, and that's me. I'm a writer like them. I see the writer in me. It was fabulous. I was so glad that I got a chance to see it. And that's my point of pride. I love spending time with the littles. Yeah.
All right. My point of pride is to the collective group of Clark Construction, Ferndale Schools, Operations, Fanning Howie, and the community, the school communities of Ferndale Middle School, Ferndale High School, with the closure of the bus loop. And I know that any adjustments to parking or anything, mid-year adjustments is difficult, right? I'm sure that families have had to pack their patience, and they've also had to possibly leave a little bit earlier than usual for pickup and drop off. But overall, it seems to have gotten smoother by the day. One of the comments, I won't say from whom, but from one of the administrators was, "This would be great to keep it like this." I'm just saying. So I just want to show appreciation. We know that that is difficult. Pickup and drop off just in general is very difficult. So just appreciation to all of the families that had to adjust a bit while we make our buildings as good as possible. So just thank you to the community for patience, and thank you to the architect, construction, and operations team for making sure that it went off without a hitch. We had the biggest sign in the world for quite some time leading up to it, as well as many communications. So I hope that it is as smooth as what it seems to be. So, but just thank you for everything that went into that.
Mine is March is addition to National Reading Month, National Women's Month, and just the amazing leadership that we have here in Ferndale from 4 amazing women that we are able to have the privilege of serving with, to our 2 amazing women that sit up here every week, to our principals, to our teachers, to staff. We really have just so many great female role models for our students to look up to and to model behavior of. So really lucky as a school district to have you all as part of it, as well as all of our female leaders in the school district. And with that, we are adjourned at 8:04 p.m.